Hey, what's up guys, Dhruval here back with another video, and in this video I'm gonna show you how to create this really beautiful portrait using a brush which we will create using text. So let's get started. As you guys can see, my image is already open inside Photoshop, and I'm just gonna double click on the background and hit OK. Now if you want to open any image, you can go to file and open as many images as you want. Now first of all, we need to create that custom brush that you can see here. We created with help of the text. So I'm gonna create a new blank layer and I will fill in the white color in that. Now I'm gonna select my type tool and I'm gonna type in, so you can type any word you want. So I'm gonna type Photoshop and let's make it black so you can see it. So here's that word, and I'm gonna press Ctrl T and I'm gonna make it bigger and hit enter. And now you have to go to edit and define brush preset, and I'm gonna name it, let's say, brush, and this is 689. So let's hit OK. Now whenever you are creating a brush, you have to make sure that your background is solid white and your subject is totally black, so that you can create brush without any problems. Otherwise it can create some issues, so always take care of that. Now if you select your brush and let's go here in the brush options, you can see that brush we just created, 689. Now delete this one and let's create another brush. So I'm gonna type in this time, let's say, love. That's great. And now I'm gonna press Ctrl T and let's make it bigger like that and hit enter. Now go to edit and again define brush preset, and I'm gonna name it brush tool and let's say OK. So let's see, and we have that brush here. Yes, it is already ready. You can create as many brushes you want for different type of varieties, and that will be fun. So right now we do not need this layers, and delete this one. Now create a new layer under this layer, so I'm gonna put it here and then fill in the black color in that. So as you can see here in my thumbnail, and we have this black color here. And shut this model layer for now, and I'm gonna name it model so we can be less confused. And now create a new blank layer on top of your black layer and let's name it text brush. And let's create another new layer and let's name it normal brush. Now select both of this layer using your control key and then press Ctrl G, so it will put it into a group. And now let's open the group, and in the text let's select our Photoshop brush that we just created. It's here. And now if you first paint with it, it doesn't look that great and it's kind of weird. So whenever you have selected a brush, you have this option here, this little icon, and when you click on that, it opens your brush preset. Now first of all, go to brush tip shape and I'm going to increase the spacing to, let's say, 200%, around 200%. It doesn't have to be that accurate, so let's go to 224. And I'm gonna turn on shape dynamics, and the shape dynamics size jitter is at 100%, and make sure that angle jitter is 0%, otherwise it will start rotating your text, and we do not need that for now. Now let's go to scattering, and the more number you put in scattering, the more there will be more spacing in your words. So I'm gonna keep the scattering to maybe 200% to, yes, that looks great. And the more the count, the more words you will have and more thicker the effect will be. So for now I'm just gonna keep it to maybe 2%, and that looks fine. And now the transfer, the last one. And you also have to make sure that whenever you're using this brush panel, you have to click on this layer. Let's say if I just click on this brush pose, I won't see any difference in options. You have to click on this brush pose so you can see the options. So I'm gonna click on this transfer, and my opacity jitter is 100%, so let's decrease it to show you what it looks like. So when you increase the opacity, it creates like variety in opacity, and when you increase the flow, it will have different type of variety in flow, just the same way we have here opacity and flow, but in brush department. So that looks great. And now when I paint with my brush, as you can see, it creates really funky effect like this. Now if you right click, you won't see any hardness option, so yeah, that's a minus point. You cannot play with the hardness on custom brushes, but we can still manage the size, so that looks great. Now I'm gonna make it smaller like this. Now start painting randomly just like this, and you can also use your big bracket key, right in the side of your enter key and start painting with it for the variety of size. So I'm just gonna paint it here like that and keep painting it. You have to create a really good amount of brush since we are going to use this as a clipping mask. So make sure you have put a lot of words like this, and also let's make it smaller for the different type of varieties like this. Fill in as much as area as you can. Now turn on your model layer, right click and select create clipping mask. So it will create a clipping mask according to this group, and whatever we put in this into this group, it will create a mask for this layer. And now I'm gonna put her a little bit on the right side holding my shift key, so that looks even better. Now let's go back to your text brush and select your brush tool again, and I'm gonna just start painting on her face like this. Now we have to make sure that in the center where her face is, you need to put a lot of like brushing so that we can see the face properly and we can recognize the person, because that's the point. And on the edges it is more like scattered and more lighter, so the effect is even better. So I'm just gonna keep painting. Now I'm gonna make my brush even smaller and put it on this random parts. Now if you look at here, we have this transition because of the image ends here. If I unclip the layer, you can see the image is ending here. So let's clip it back and apply a layer mask on the image, and select any type of, let's say, normal brush. And before that, let's save the preset first, otherwise if you change the brush, all the settings will be like set to default and you will have to do all the hard work. So go to your options here, click here and select new tool preset, and let's name it, let's say, tutorial preset. So let's keep it that, and let's name it Photoshop since we have that brush, and hit OK. Now let's go back and select regular round brush, and I'm gonna paint with black color on this area. Let's keep it black and start painting here. So we have this transition of image to the text. So if I unclip the layer, you can see we have just simply erased this part from here, and let's clip it here. So there is a really good transition, and you can also paint it back since it's a brush, so you can like get back the detail anytime you want. Now let's move on to this normal brush. So as you guys know that we painted with text and we have that as a clipping mask, so we can do that for normal brush too. So I'm just gonna paint on her face like that with normal brush. Keep it really big and keep the opacity maybe 50%, just like that. And if it gets kind of confusing or you are stuck somewhere, ask me in the comments, I will help you out. Not everybody is pro, so I can understand that. And keep painting it until her face looks even better and you can see her properly. So only in few parts, so even if we zoom in, you can see there's still that text transition going, and it looks even better and we can recognize the subject better. Let's go to Photoshop, select this brush. Let's use love this time. So let's go here and I'm gonna add the shape dynamics, scattering, and let's name it, let's also transfer. So in the scattering, let's keep it that way, and in the shape dynamics everything is fine, and let's decrease the count in scattering. Okay, that looks fine, and I'm gonna scatter it even more. And now go to transfer, and that looks great. So that is fine, and I'm gonna create a new layer called, let's say, low text brush. So you can put anything in this group and it will work as a clipping mask, so that is really cool. And let's close it, and I'm gonna paint it here. So as you can see, it's way big, so I'm gonna make it smaller and start painting just like that, and you can use it with as many style you want. So let's go back and increase the scattering even more. So let's keep it like that, so that looks great, and I'm gonna make it even smaller, and now it works really nice. So you can use it with as many fonts you want, and this way you can create anything. And let's put it even more letters so we can say it properly. So let's put it here. So this way you can create any type of cool looking portrait. And now once you think that you have enough text and your transition is really good looking, create a new layer, and I'm gonna apply a gradient map so we have really cool colors. Now it is not necessary for the effect, but it was working really nice with the image, so I just kind of thought to use it. So now hit OK and put it on screen blend mode, and then I'm gonna decrease the opacity a little. So this looks really great, and I hope you guys learned something. And if you have any kind of question regarding to this tutorial or Photoshop, feel free to drop them in the comments. And if you actually learned something from this tutorial, hit that like button so that I can know. And you can also subscribe to my channel so that you can have future updates of every video I upload. Also check out this other tutorials by Tutorials Junction. Till then, goodbye, take care, and have some fun with Photoshop.